Hello, welcome. This is Agronomy and Economy. I am Ryan Buetow.
And I'm Levi Helmuth.
I am an NDSU Area Extension Specialist in Cropping Systems for the southwest part of North Dakota.
I'm an instructor with the North Dakota Farm Business Management Program from BSC. My office is here in Dickinson, and I work with producers across the western southwest region.
And we are coming to you today from the Dickinson Research Extension Center. The center was established by the 1905 North Dakota legislature as a research location representative of the Missouri Plateau region. Here at the center, there's a unique blend of staff and programs. Research and extension staff include animal, crop, and range scientists. So today we're going to talk to you about what's going on in the region, the state, and the market in general, as well as our topic of the day. Start out with weather. It's been doing things.
We've had weather.
Yeah. In the month of November so far, we've had above average temperatures. November average is 39 degrees Fahrenheit, with the normal at 32 degrees. Along with the temperature, there's been some precipitation happening in the state.
Yeah, the eastern side of the state, Fargo, got some snow. We certainly haven't seen that. We had some flurries earlier this week, but I don't think we've had anything measurable.
Yeah, this side of the west side of the river here has been pretty dry, which is kind of understandable. It's what you expect. But the east side, they definitely would want that moisture to add to the subsoil soil moisture. So we need some of that.
Definitely.
And with the weather, we've been getting some harvesting done this year. For the state, corn harvested is at 97%, ahead of 83% last year and 91% for the 5-year average. And sunflower harvested, we're at 90%, ahead of 81% last year and the 84% average. Along with corn and sunflower, wheat's been pretty good this year for yield.
I've heard good things about the yield. They didn't have problems that way, but I did hear some guys ended up with some dockage because of the vomitoxin.
Yeah, and vomitoxin is caused by Fusarium head blight. Some ways to control that are by managing your cereal debris on the soil surface. You got to make sure you look at your crop rotation, your crop sequence, as well as if you till, what type of tillage program you're using. Along with those cultural practices, there's also chemical controls, fungicides. This provides partial control for Fusarium head blight, and the most important part is timing for that. So I guess what else has been going on in the market?
Well, sticking with commodities, prices are trending a little lower. We did, as far as spring wheat, winter wheat's definitely trending lower. We were at the Belfield Marketing Club just Wednesday.
Yeah.
And one thing that came up there was that some of the mills have gone away from winter wheat and they have more of a preference for spring wheat now. And so that's attributing to the lower trend of winter wheat prices. And until we find somewhere to go with the winter wheat crop, I see that price trend continuing to be lower. Durum average price is $6.61 for the region. It had been at $6.50 kind of across the board, but some places has ratcheted up to $6.75, so that's good. Corn is at $2.86. Canola is trending lower, and there's been a slight rally in the oil sunflowers, but all of these crops are still below cost of production. Durum's right on the edge, depends on your operation, but looking at storage is a possibility, but you need to know your cost of the production associated with that, the increase to your utility bill from running the fan.
Yeah.
And you need to definitely reevaluate your marketing plan, or for sure make one.
Yeah.
Failing to plan is planning to fail. That's how I always say it. So you need to look at that. Moving into the livestock, we've seen cattle prices are trending lower regionally. Probably the biggest change that we've seen was the drop in the 300 weights. At 259, it's a drop of 223 per hundredweight, and I'm going to chalk that up to lighter trade. It's a little thinner market. We've seen a lot less 300 weights come through the ring. Maybe a more important change is in the 500 and 600 weights. 500 weights were spot price was 204, so that's a 1075 less per hundredweight, and 600 weights were going for 188. That's a decrease of 1231 from October. I'm going to chalk that up to box beef values are down because of a stronger dollar, so we have weaker exports, same as we have with our commodity trouble. There's more competition from the pork and poultry. Part of why we had these high prices in 2014 and even part of 2015 was we didn't have competition as much from the pork and poultry side. But they've bounced back from the PDV. I'm not saying that right, but the porcine their academic that they had with the supply problems, and the same with avian bird flu
Yep.
with the poultry side of things. They've come back, so we're seeing competition at the retail counter again. Specifically for the cow-calf guys in the state with those 500 and 600 weight calves, the bankers that work with the feedlots and the feeders, their cash position is pretty tight right now. And so the banks are telling the feeders that if they can't lock in a price, not to buy any calves. And so they're going to the board, and the board's trading. One day it's limited up, next day it's limited down. It's kind of all over the place. So until our board, the futures kind of straighten out, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a good idea of where we're going. But right now we're definitely trending lower.
And it's a little harder to hold on to your cattle than it is to hold on to your grain.
Yeah, you can't just stick those 500 weights in a grain bin and hope it all works out come spring.
Well, I guess moving on to our topic of the day, we're talking to you about quality of information. Last week we talked to you about source of information and how different generations receive their media. And I guess...
Yeah, definitely there's a plethora of news and info sources out there. I mean, different generations are going to access different one, but no matter what generation you're in and no matter where you're getting your information from, it's important to make sure that you're getting it from a trustworthy news site, a reputable source.
Exactly. Yep.
Like we're with the podcast here. I mean, I like to think you can trust us.
I would hope so. Yeah.
We work for the government, so we don't have a particular bias one way or the other. We stay up. We're paid to be knowledgeable and stay up to date on these things.
Yep.
News, radio certainly is a big one as far as news sources in agriculture. Television, still print media is still a factor. More so with probably being on your phone with apps for your phones and the websites that they have out there available.
And just kind of check it wherever you go.
Yeah. Personally, I try to get a wide spectrum of news sources, and then left side, right side, and try and just unspin that news for myself.
And even other than political bias, there's also some of these news sources are trying to sell you something. And at the end of the day, you might not need what they're trying to sell you.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to hear that hats are in style and you need to buy a hat when it's coming from the man selling the hats.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they did a pretty good job selling me this hat, I guess.
That's good.
I think that's all we got today. So it's nice talking to you.
Thanks for listening.